You already know this is Pawn Drunk Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself, aka El Adobo, aka El Sazon, aka El Borracho. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, what I'm about to talk about is from my perspective. I'm not saying that I'm right, I'm not saying that I'm wrong, but I'm open to educate and be educated. I'm also open to enlighten and be enlightened. Ain't no ego trip here. So y'all see the thumbnail, you read the title, and loyalty is very important to people, right? In the sport of boxing, I see that the Brits, they're very loyal. They're very loyal to one another, and they're very loyal and proud of representing their country. And the people support their fighter, their countrymen. Now in America, see, that's why I see the difference between in America and in the UK. See, I never heard the term Black Brit when talking about, African descent fighters. I never hear them say the Black Brit, Lennox Lewis, the Black Brit, Nigel Benn, the Black Brit. You know what I'm saying? Chris Eubank, the Black Brit, Lennox Lewis, the Black Brit. I don't hear that. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm trying to say? Kell Brook, the Black Brit. I just hear the British fighter, and I don't hear them talking about it. Like they're not dictated by race. In which in America, let's say an African American fighter, it's all about catering to the black fan. Or if they're not catering to their black fan, they're catering or pandering to a Latino fan base, a Mexican fan base, just like Floyd Mayweather wore the colors. And one of his biggest fight, he wore the Mexican colors versus Oscar De La Hoya. Gervonta Tank Davis, in his first pay-per-view fight, he's wearing the Mexican colors. Earl Spence, in his first pay-per-view fight versus Mikey Garcia, he's wearing the Mexican colors. I see that African America will pander to the to the Mexican fan base and go and represent their race, the black race. But they don't represent, I don't feel like they go out there to represent America the way the Brits represents the UK. You understand what I'm trying to say? I think that's the difference. So when you see the coming out party, when it's time for them to perform, you see the Brits, they fly in. If they got to fight in the U.S., they come and fly in. You saw they take over the stadium. Ricky Hatton, he took over the stadium when he fought. The UK people took over the stadium when he fought Floyd Mayweather. You saw when Anthony Joshua came to Madison Square Garden, there was more people in Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he was fighting Andy Ruiz, but you see the loyalty. You see the loyalty, and then also the loyalty. I remember before Anthony Joshua fought, before Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder, you heard Anthony Joshua say that he's wanted to help Tyson Fury spar to help prepare Tyson Fury to beat Deontay Wilder, so he could bring the belt back to America. You see, you hear the loyalty. You don't hear the race when it comes to, and I'm not saying there is no racism out there in the UK, or slavery didn't happen. I'm not talking nothing about that. I know pretty much a lot of the history that gone out there. But in terms of boxing, you don't hear this race rhetoric when it comes to British fighters. Now, I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong. And this is why I'm opening up the dialogue, up a dialogue, and I'm going to go live later on so we can really talk about this in depth. In America, everything is all race-baited, especially in boxing. And I think that African-American fighters should learn something about the Brits. Maybe if African-American fighters will cater to America instead of just catering to my people and this, if they cater to America and the American fan base, then I would think that more people America will back our fighters, Americanized fighters, Latino Americans, and African American. I think that America would cater, but I also hear fighters that say the Black Americans cater to the black audience. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's not like even back in the days, the Americans used to do a better job. Sugar Ray Leonard was the Americans champion. You know what I'm saying? And he's an Olympian, just like Deontay Wilder's an Olympian as well. That he represented our country, just like Jared Anderson, he represented our country as well. But what I'm saying is, at the professional level, because of course it's the Olympic, everybody representing their country. But I believe in the professional level, everybody keeps that type of energy, that type of business model, that type of marketing, except the Americans. You understand what I'm trying to say? Anthony Joshua, who was an Olympian as well, see, he keeps that UK fan base. Just like Lomachenko, he keeps that Ukraine fan base. Or Usyk, they keep that Ukraine fan base, right? It keep rolling. They transition whatever they did in the Olympics, and they transition that countryman type of audience into the sport of boxing. But African American, they're not proud. It's almost like they're not proud to represent America. And I think when people say like, yo, these guys in the UK, they loyal to their fighter. They come out and show out. They buy the plane ticket. They out there. Look how Sheffield looked like when it was Errol Spence versus Sheffield. If it was the other way around, you see the UK fighters coming over here and taking over. While the USA fans, the UK fans, when they come over here and buy out everything. Why the USA fan don't go out for Errol Spence and turn out for him? You understand what I'm trying to say? Why the USA American fan base don't go fly out to Sheffield and support the Errol Spence of the world? What is missing? What is missing? I'm just saying, I feel like the American fan base and the American fighters should cater to the Americans, to America. I'm an American fighter. Now, there's going to be people out there, but you know the history, and you know that Black America has been disenfranchised and slavery and all of that we already know the history, the unfortunate circumstances and things of that nature. But still, there is proud people. Like, hey, Keith Thurman, he wears the red, white, and blue because he's proud, because he's living the American dream. He says it a lot. And if you think about it, look at his numbers compared to everybody else's numbers. What was that? Look at Keith Thurman's numbers compared to everybody else's number in the PBC. See, Keith Thurman is one of the guys that dropped the most numbers. Think about this. Before the Teofimo Lopez and Vasyl Lomachenko fight, which the ESPN did 4.2, the most watched, the most viewed on boxing bout. Before that, it was Keith Thurman versus Josecito Lopez, in which they really didn't go all the way in promoting this fight, but he was almost 3 million views. Why? Because he represents, and he puts it out there that he's representing America. He says he wears the red, white, and blue all the time because he's living the American dream, and he talks about America. You don't hear him talking about, I do this for the brothers, and he's a mixed breed. I do this for the white, I do this for the black, I do this for America. And maybe when you're doing it for America, you don't delineate nobody else. So the American, the American Latinos, the Asian American, the Black America, they can all show up and show support. But when the Black American, well, let's say African American, he's all for his people, it's all about the blacks, then the black is just the only thing that's going to be showing up. Is it enough? When it comes to the Brits, they ain't talking about no race. It's all about, for certain places in the world. I mean, they talk more about cultural differences than race differences. It's more cultural differences. In Europe, they talk about the culture, the culture. You know what I'm saying? Is there any negative or any type of battles all about culture, religion? In the U.S., it's all about race and gays and straight high. That's what they talk about. You feel me? That's the difference-ish. So I think that American fighters, the Black American fighters, should learn a lot from their black brothers across the pond. What do you think? Drop the little race thing a little bit, Be proud who you are, but how about be proud more to be American? I know the history, I know. But even every part of the world, there's been oppressed and people are still proud. There's Chinese people, Chinese women that have been oppressed. but they try to be proud to be Chinese. And Jewish are proud of being Jewish. Irish people are proud of being Irish. You know, Bosnian being proud of being Bosnian, or you know, Serbs being proud of being Serbs. It's just, I just feel like they would do a good service if they cater to the American audience. And the more they cater to the American audience and proud to be American, the American people will show up. Not the whites, not just the blacks, not just the Latinos or the Asians or the Indians, but the American people. They should learn something from the Brits and its fighters, especially the African Brit fighters, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Shout out to all the fighters. Again, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying something, and it's kind of, you know, I'm just wonder why things are the way it is. You know, there's other cultures that could be a better culture if they adopt the goodness of other cultures. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, anyway, I'm gonna go live later on. We could chop it up. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, get updated videos. I love y'all. God bless, and on to the next.